few minutes in Denver.
For some analysis, as we await the president's speech, we are joined by Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, who is here in studio. She's from Tennessee. And Dow Jones Newswire's columnist Al Lewis is out, I believe, in Denver today. Good to see you as well. Good to see you. Thanks for being here in person.
Good to be with you.
What do you think is going to happen? Eventually, are we going to find that we have no way of paying for all this and we're going to have to print a lot of money and create a lot of inflation?
Well, of course, that is the big fear, is when does the debt market lose their appetite for our debt? When do they lose their trust in our ability to pay it back? And we're at $10.7 trillion now. Basically, what we've seen happen, 2007, another $1 trillion on the debt. Same for 2008. Now, since this year, the Democrats already are at $2.2 trillion in deficit. We have not done the omnibus yet. We are hearing that the president is going to ask for a foreclosure mitigation program, which is going to be another $100 billion or so. So all of this is adding to it, and we may end up with a $14 trillion debt before the year is over. And people are very, very concerned.
Let me just put it fine. You said how much of a debt?
I think it could be as high as $14 trillion by the time we finish this year. We're at 10.7 now.
Al Lewis, let's bring you into the conversation here. All eyes will be on Denver, certainly, as this bill, this massive spending bill, is going to be signed there. There are so many naysayers that have come out of every corner now, which always leads some to wonder, well, maybe there is someone out there who believes that this thing might work in some way, shape, or form. What do you think?
Well, I wish he wasn't signing it in my state here. He should have done it in one of those states where they dig a big pit and they throw a pig down there and they roast it. That's not Colorado. I think we rank like number 22 on the list of states that are going to get some pork from all of this. No one has ever seen anything like this before. I mean, this is an incredible amount of money. And just reading the bill, it's hard to say how much of it is stimulus, how much of it is just fixing things that we should have fixed already, and how much of it is pork. You know, this is a wait-and-see thing, and it's really dangerous. And as you've noted here on the show, the markets are scared. I think the people are scared. And this is like a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage, right? What happens when interest rates go up? I mean, this could clobber us later.
Congressman, I'm always wary of using raw figures because inflation over time changes what figures really mean. But when you look at the deficit as a percent of GDP, we're looking at a deficit of somewhere over 12% of GDP, maybe even 14%. Right. We haven't had those kind of figures since World War II. So this is a World War II type of legislation. Was it needed? Are we in the same kind of worldwide emergency, financial emergency we were back then?
Right, and you're exactly right. Looking at those percentages is what we ought to be doing, because it is there at a very high percentage. The overall government spending is going to top 20, maybe even more by the time we get through all of this stimulus spending this year. It is going to be at its highest levels. Those are givens. Now, what we have to do, as Al was saying, we're kind of in uncharted territory here, and there is a lot of wait and see. And what we're hoping is that people will say, all right, the best economic stimulus is a job. There is only 17% of this bill that actually is focused on tax abatements, reductions, things that are going to work to create growth. What are we going to do with regulatory relief to try to spur this?
What's the better idea? We know what we're seeing that will be signed today, but what would have been the better idea?
The better idea would have been this: focus on tax reductions and incentives, then regulatory relief. Make certain that you do some things like withholding forgiveness for a 3-month period of time, or my bill that would have let everybody deduct all of their state income and state sales taxes, and then not let all this money immediately. You've got 9% of this bill that will be spent in 2009. We should have voted that and then come back in 10 to vote that money and do it all in tranches rather than all at one time, because the worries of inflation, the worries that we have of getting that much money out in the marketplace, not being able to repay that debt, they are real worries. People are taking that wait-and-see attitude, and we need stimulus that is targeted, temporary, and will create jobs now.
Marsha Blackburn, Al Lewis, thank you both for being here. Appreciate it.